have like DVD sets
Oh,
of like the
yeah.
original series,
Oh, yeah.
Adam's Family, and all
Yeah.
that stuff?
Oh
yeah.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh fuck yeah.
Yeah.
I gotta get that.
And the
then.
Monsters
Yeah.
and Dark Shadows.
That has a
and all
bigger fan base than these movies, I bet.
I think you're right.
More people have seen that.
Yeah, because I do remember like when I used to work at a video store, I used to see like Adam's Family DVD sets, but they were like DVDs, not Blu-rays at the time. If there is a Blu-ray set, I'd love to get it though, because they have some cool fucking features on that. Yeah.
Unlike these fucking movies, like the worst Blu-ray releases are these two movies. They're just like afterthoughts. Because even the DVDs, like they came out in 06 or 07. First they came out in 2000, then they came out in 06, 07, and no special features, just DVDs. And then in 2019, I think they finally came out on Blu-ray. No special features, just a theatrical release.
The big studios are awful at
Yeah.
releasing special features Blu-rays for their stuff.
Yeah, they don't see it as a way to make money.
No, they don't get
costs
it.
them
They
money.
don't get the whole like what we want.
Yes.
Like, you know, what
the
genre
people who are buying
fans
the damn
want.
movie
Yeah.
want.
They don't get what Shout Factory knows or what Vinegar Syndrome knows. They know
And
that
more
we're
coming
willing
out.
to pay for that.
Yes.
We
Yeah.
want that physical media with those a doc on it or some
Yeah.
you know, a
One
new
day,
commentary.
one day they will get it. 'Cause it's like, oh, there's more money to be had here. Like, you know what I mean?
Well,
It's like
no.
once they
Or
find the
they'll-
money,
or they may never
won't.
get it.
I don't think they will, because I think there's a catch-22 involved, and I've been thinking about this a lot. So tell me what you think about this thought. A studio has a movie they need to release, or they choose to release, whatever, it's on the docket. They release the movie as a Blu-ray, okay? We're in this in-between 4K, UHD, and Blu-ray market now,
Right.
where it's going to be a very long transition, as it usually is, you know, for people to start acclimate to one or the other. And so a studio releases a disc on Blu-ray, okay? They just look at numbers. They
Yeah.
just look at how many units sold. Was it a success? Should we ever do this again? Yes or no? That also determines whether or not it gets a 4K release now. So if they don't come out of the gate with a 4K release and a Blu-ray, and the Blu-ray doesn't perform, you'll never get a 4K release until maybe a decade from now. And the thought of that is bad, because there are Blu-ray people and collectors who are like, they see movies that are coming out 6 months later with a 4K release, so they hold back from buying the Blu-ray. And that triggers a response to the studio being like, oh, this is dead at home video. Nobody wants this for home video. But the collectors are being like, I don't want to buy this twice. So I'm waiting, I'm holding my money and not buying this because I need the actual, we're in a 4K world. I want a UHD. And so now they have this catch-22 situation that is preventing the studios from understanding the data that they're trying to aggregate. And you've got these collectors who are shooting themselves in the foot being like, I guess I have to buy both to convince the studio to make the one that I want. You know, so it's like we're in this like bad spinning drain that's killing physical media.
Right.
Yeah.
Because we're in this long phase in between Blu-ray and 4K that's going to take a decade to get over. And at the end of the decade, who knows what we have technology-wise to replace 4K.
Well, it's
Sure.
killing physical media from films that are under the big studios.
Yeah.
But it's actually for smaller films. You know, we talked earlier before the show about who even remembers the Addams Family.
Right.
But those people who don't remember the Addams Family probably know what The Burning is right away.
Right.
It's like these smaller films where these distributors that actually know what they're doing are actually keeping these other films alive and like building their legend.
And I think
you know,
if
of what
they keep
are.
doing what they're doing, more will pop up.
Yeah.
That's just the name of the thing. That happens.
But when
you
you're
know?
looking at numbers,
it might
which
take
you-
a while.
when you're
but-
dealing with lots of money, obviously you have
Sure.
to look at numbers. But it's just the way analytics is killing baseball. It's like when
Yeah.
you just look at that,
Yes.
you're never gonna get
Yes.
it. You're never gonna get it.
Yes.
You know.
It's like literally having a stadium full of people going like, yeah, we like this. Like, oh yeah, you like it? Well, we didn't make enough money, so you guys got to leave now. And I'm like,
Yeah.
wait, what? We just got here. Like that's like the same thing
Yeah.
with baseball with this fucking DVD
No,
release.
exactly. So every
fucking
real
bullshit.
business person would laugh at what I'm about to say.
Well-
but certain movies need to be put out because they deserve it.
Yeah.
Like if you sell 3,000 copies and that's it, but god damn it, you made a Blu-ray with a commentary and 4 hours of special features for
Well,
a movie that was lost or
And
something.
what's to
you know?
say that you can't make your money back years down the road. Like they want that instant money back guarantee. That's what they want. They want like within 1 or 2 years to have everything back. You know.
And the darker side of it too, unfortunately, living in capitalist society essentially is the idea of not giving us the license. Essentially, when you sell a disc, you're essentially giving a permanent license to someone.
Yeah.
And so what they, as a licensor or license holder, they don't want to do that.
Yeah.
They're not inclined to make a physical copy of their stuff. So that's already like questionable and on the end of its like thought process
and
as far as these guys are concerned when streaming is so available and they hold the keys the whole time.
What's the and they'll never like at it. I can only imagine that in the big studios they have no concept of what goes on at a HorrorCon or something like that, where you see fans buying stacks of Blu-rays.
Dude.
Like, do you know that the only reason that vinyl is exploding now is because of those indie labels that started putting out stuff again.
Yeah,
the bigger recording studio, whatever.
Yeah.
They would have never done that without looking at those building numbers from.
Yeah.
No, it's things catch on, right? And it seems like things catch on when sometimes it's too little, too late. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But eventually, it turns around. Like you know, like the pendulum swings one way,
Yeah.
it always swings back, no matter what you're talking about.
Yeah.
It just happens. That's just life.
Yeah.
Like with physical media, though, in general, like man, if you were to get like a Netflix executive, and I'm not like they do a lot of good things too, but like if you like walk them through a HorrorCon and just go, do you see all this? Do you see these people buying hundreds and hundreds of dollars of stuff that they probably already own one form of, but they want the new one. They want this one because it's different. It's you know it's whatever, the packaging's different, the labeling's different, the features are different, whatever it is. Horror, that genre specifically, and then probably like fantasy stuff and like Marvel stuff. They have that gift that keeps on giving, and that's that physical media thing that you're talking about. I just wish more studios, like you said, would just wake up and go, oh, wait, yeah, you're right. We can also put this and still make money and also get something for kids to actually hold on to, pass it down to their kids, like, that kind of shit. Like
it's such a unique thing.
To me, it's a no-brainer, but I'm not an executive, so I don't know.
Yeah, and the physicality of the product, too, there's something to be said for that. Like you said, like, it's something that somebody can like unwrap as a gift or like Christmas and things
holding
like that. It's a different feeling than just like what's next on Netflix or whatever. It's kind of like passive viewing. You have to physically take it out of its sleeve, think about it, read about it, put it in the thing, have a physical, active experience with something that puts you in the moment and makes you pay more attention. Hopefully you're putting your phone somewhere else. But the concept of physical media is something well beyond what streaming can ever provide, which is essentially, unless you're invested, which most of the time you aren't, unless you're fully invested in something streaming, it's going to be a passive viewing experience. And therefore, it's not getting clocked in your brain. It's in one ear, out the other, in one eye, out your ass.
And you don't have to be even like a Paramount or Universal to get it wrong. Like, I'll give you an example. Blumhouse. I mean, like, when you look at the discs that they put out for, like, Halloween 2018 and all that, they suck.
Yeah.
Like, you would think that Blumhouse would know what some of these other smaller distributors
because they make great horror films. Like, wait, why are you not...
It's so bland.
Yeah, finish the job.
It's so fucking bland. Like, if Shout Factory or something like that did, like, a Halloween 2018, they would have done a cool new poster for it. They would have done, some
great
special
BTS
features that matter.
Yeah.
Like, it's amazing how wrong they get it. And they slowly, it's so, their learning curve is so slow. You think Adele, who presses a lot of vinyl now.
Big time.
There's a direct, weird correlation between that and when Waxwork released, like, the Friday the 13th soundtrack 5 years ago or whatever on vinyl.
Exactly.
They slowly learn. Like, Aerosmith just released a cassette.
Yeah.
Like, that kind of shit is happening now because of nerds like us.
But this is why I hope. I genuinely, I'm usually an optimistic person, and I will be continuing when I say this because I do have hope that there will be a new format with physical media because just like what you said, the fact that tape cassettes are being sold again, like what?
Yeah, VHS. Too.
Yeah, VHS. It's starting to be cool again. Like, dude, there's this page I follow on Instagram. I don't know the name and whatever, but like, look. they just make custom VHS box art for modern day movies. And my God, I saw one for Hereditary. I was just like,
It Follows.
Fuck yes.
Yeah,
I was like, that's what I'm fucking talking about.
Yeah.
And let me tell you something. If like A24 saw that, they should get on the fucking phone, call that guy, and go, what can we do to make this happen? Because this is awesome.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck if someone doesn't even play that in a VHS player. Have it on your shelf. It's a piece of art.
I think that's what it's for.
You know?
I think it is like a cultural piece of art.
Do it. Do it like
'Cause,
that.
like,
if that's the way to do it, do it.
I will
Like,
be
you know?
honest. I'll be honest. I am a collector, but at the same time, if I were going to see like Goblin or something live,
Yeah.
and I wanted to support Goblin, I would buy their merchandise
Of
directly
course.
from them at the show.
Yeah.
Right?
Because they get that money
They
directly
get the
to
money
them.
directly.
Yeah.
You know, there's ways that, you know, after being in a band for so long, you realize like there's ways that bands are not making any money off this type
Yeah.
of digital
Yep.
shit.
Yeah.
But when they tour,
True.
they actually make a decent amount of money that they can get from place to place at least and
True.
fill the tank.
Yes.
Yeah.
But when you buy from them, they could have a bunk piece of, they could sell a paperweight and I would buy it because I'm supporting the band.
Yeah.
But without giving a straight up donation, you know, making it awkward.
Right.
You're like, what do you got? You
Yeah.
know? And so like fucking VHS might not have a VCR, but Goblin selling a VHS of Suspiria
Yes.
with whatever, and it's a fucking paperweight to me, but I'll buy it
Yes.
because
yeah.
it's a relic or whatever. And like that type of shit, it's physical and it means something, and it will remind you of the event or whatever that you had.
Dude, I literally
You know?
almost bought a vinyl record at the last HorrorCon we were at. I don't even have a vinyl record player anymore. Like, what? But I was just like so entranced by it, and I was like, I want to hold this. I don't never want to take it out with shrink wrap. You know, like that's just my brain. That's just how it goes.
Impulse buying and shit.
Yeah, but guess
you
what?
also
It
want to
works.
support,
It
you know,
works.
Yeah.
artists.
Hey,
You know, that's all
exactly.
it comes down to.
Exactly. And I think that, again, we're beating a dead horse here, but I just think physical media will come back. Maybe we won't be alive for it, but it will come back.
Well, and the sad thing
in
is
our world, it is back.
It is.
Yeah.
You
You're
know,
right. You're right.
It is.
In
But
the
the sad
It's just
mainstream.
not everybody's caught on to that.
That's
yet.
right.
But
the
the sad
mainstream
thing
will.
is, and as a collector, the sad thing is, I went to the library to get Addams Family and Addams Family Values. You won't catch me buying those shitty fucking Blu-rays. I'm not gonna
Smart.
support
Smart.
these guys putting it out. But here's the thing, these guys still have the keys.
Yeah.
They're the only ones who are gonna put out.
They're holding
Addams
it
Family
hostage.
That's the
Values.
thing. And
So it's like I'm
They're-
shooting myself in the foot
Yes.
as
Yeah.
a collector by not
Yes.
giving them my money, but at the same
Yeah.
time I'm trying to vote with my dollar.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it's this catch-22 that's like killing physical
'Cause they're
media
ho-
by the big studios.
They're holding it
True,
hostage. They're
true.
holding that whole idea hostage. They're going
Yeah.
like, "Oh, you want this? You
So
want
what
that?"
I'm
well,
try-
and it matters. Like, not to shit on Blumhouse. I'm not trying
No,
to do
no,
that.
no, of course.
Thank you very much, Blumhouse, for everything you've given us. But like Halloween 2018 is a perfect example. I walked out of the theater being like, that was fucking amazing.
Me too.
And I've never bought a Halloween 2018 Blu-ray.
Right.
Because I don't want it.
Right.
Because it's like, it's just
What-
not. It doesn't have
Right.
anything put into it.
Yes.
That's that
But
that
God,
we
but
get
let
from-
me tell you something. But they had like a awesome commentary with like David Gordon Green and like John Carpenter watched the movie. You're goddamn right. I'm gonna buy that fucking Blu-ray and listen to it.
Yeah, why
and
not
play
do
it
that?
back.
Yeah,
I
something
mean,
of value for the home video
yeah,
market.
like,
have
fuck
some
it.
fun with that.
I don't even
Yeah.
care if John
Yeah, have
Carpenter's
some
in a
fun.
satellite,
how much
you
fun
know,
would that
smoking a
be?
Of all,
cigarette.
Book
dude, of
that.
all the like the marketing meetings that I would love to sit in on and like run, flat my trap about.
Yeah.
It would be a meeting after that where like, what do you want to do for the Blu-ray, guys?
Yeah.
Oh my God, that would be so exciting.
Yes.
Like
They
so
went,
many
they
cool
went
ideas
so
you could
above
think
and
of.
beyond bringing back the cast for the second one, and like you would think just that alone you'd fill out a whole fucking disc of special features
Yes.
with stuff.
Yes.
You know what I
You
mean?
know, a recent example.
You
of
went
them,
through all the trouble already.
Yeah.
And you know what? I'll tell you what. A recent example of them doing it right was when they released all the Friday 13th on that Blu-ray set, and they
The Shout Factory set?
dude, yeah, and they put in like deleted scenes that
Oh,
dude,
it's right behind you. Yeah.
fuck yeah.
It's like,
okay,
Yeah,
so
I've got the first
let me
three.
tell you
It's so
something.
amazing.
Yeah.
Everyone take note. Like every studio, take note because every time I go to find that, like on Amazon, sold out, sold out,
Yeah.
sold out.
And it's $120
it
and it's
works.
sold out.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
works.
Dude, they went and they found that cut footage that no one had seen in years and years. They didn't have to put that effort
Yeah.
into it.
That's
but
what
they
you need to
did.
do.
And that's Shout Factory.
That's what you
Again,
need to do.
That's what you. And why not?
Here's another example of a newer version of what they should do. Okay, so I sent you this video on Instagram. I don't know if you saw it, but okay, the Conjuring sequel. Okay, they had that nun character. It's very famous now. Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Originally, the nun wasn't involved. They had a full-fledged demon monster character, animatronic face, all this shit. they scrapped it, but they have footage of it in like they shot scenes with it, and someone recorded, probably a special effects artist recorded the BTS of it and put it on Instagram, and everyone's like, "What the fuck is this? Like, why do we not see this? It's like a black horned demon with like crazy eyes, and it looks terrifying."
Yeah.
And
For whatever reason, it didn't work.
if they were just like, you know what, we're gonna show a never before seen scene with this demon in there, and just throw it out there in the Blu-ray release.
Yeah.
You would get asses lined up, being like, "Yeah, I want that," just to see that scene.
Right.
So going back to Halloween
You know?
2018.
Yeah.
I won't name any names, but we have worked with the production designer on that film.
Yeah.
Who came up with the idea for that aftermath kill of the head being turned into the jack-o'-lantern.
So cool.
And according to the story that we heard on set, that idea was come up with very last minute because they didn't know quite what to do.
Yeah.
That's a great story to learn about.
I want to hear that.
You know, I want to hear that.
Yeah.
You know,
I don't want to hear from people that we work with. You know, like I want to hear it from people that made the
that
goddamn movie.
guy needs to be interviewed.
Yes.
You know, how did you come up with that? Like, you know, it's shit like that.
It's very frustrating because these people.
We're gonna have to make our own. We're gonna have to make our own appendices to all our favorite.
Dude,
shows.
I'm telling you.
I know.
Because there's
This is a whole like bonus episode.
Well, and quite frankly, we probably need to cut this into a bonus episode. There are so many good ideas
I know
that we have that like need to be done for the release of certain films.
And to me, what's so sad to me is that it's so obvious. And it's like, how can you not see it? And I know, look, at the end of the day, the people that run these companies,
bottom line. They're all just thinking. They're numbers guys. They're business people. They're not thinking about content. They're just thinking
you need
about
someone who's a genuine horror fan to be running this shit. That
Have some
happens
fun.
to be rich.
Have some fun. You're worried about the bottom line?
fun.
Fine. Here's what you do. Special edition release of Halloween 2018. Make 1,000 copies.
Yeah.
You know, and
Exclusively
do some
1,000.
exclusive release of
Yeah.
it. And then if it works out,
There you go.
then go and do something else along the same
But you
lines,
make it
you know?
special for those first 1,000. Will get something special that no one else will get.
Dude.
And then when they release it again, it's like a watered down version of what you got.
It's just
Okay,
like
so I don't know about that. Okay, so
Well,
like,
hold on.
It's just like in the colored vinyl.
Exactly.
Like I don't get this.
Or picture
and I've
discs.
got a thing full of vinyl.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck
Right.
what the fucking vinyl's colored.
Right.
But
that
there
is a
are
big deal.
fans who
Yeah.
really
Yes.
fucking care,
Yes.
and
Oh,
they
yeah.
want that special edition color.
Yeah.
So do that with like the Blu-rays.
It's like it's like those picture discs they come out with, like the vinyl picture discs. Like they'll like, okay, we're gonna have 1,000 of these, no more. And they sell out fast. They go, okay, we're gonna do another batch.
okay, one thing.
Fuck it.
One thing
Fuck
I
it.
don't like from guys like Arrow, for instance. One thing I don't like that Arrow does is they're not clear on. Like if you're somebody who cares about like slip covers or if you care about certain release details, they'll change the whole. They'll only make so many booklets, for instance, and then at a certain point they run out. They don't tell you. They don't drop
And
the
you don't
price,
get it when
and
you
don't get it.
Right.
But that's because it was a limited run. But they don't tell you about limited runs. They don't
Okay.
tell you about anything. You're in the dark, and you just hope to have bought it at a certain point. And that's just how they run their business.
Well, that's a communication issue. They need to fix
Yes.
that.
Right,
Yeah.
right, and that's an annoying thing that Arrow
Yeah.
does.
Come on,
but
Arrow.
Arrow's
We
too
love
big.
it.
Come
They're
on.
just too big,
Yeah.
and they've
Yeah.
decided to do things that way.
Yeah.
And then I think they restructure over time. They restructure how much the thing costs, but it's generally it starts strong, and then like pretty soon it doesn't have a booklet. Pretty soon it doesn't have a slipcover. Pretty soon it doesn't have a digibox.
I'm sure.
It's a Netflix DVD mail-in slip with
Hey.
the paperback.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
it's like,
There
there
you
you
go.
go.
And I'm sure Arrow will figure this out. Arrow
will.
does a lot of
They
things
will.
great,
But
including.
there's something to be said
Yeah.
about a release that just stays that way in perpetuity.
It's
And
true.
Case in being Criterion.
Hey.
Okay, not exactly a horror label, but Criterion generally, for the most part, and I'm saying they only mess this up once in a while, but they have a release, and that's the release. And the release is that good
Yeah.
that you don't fuck. They didn't fuck around on
Right.
on the release.
Right.
They didn't say like,
Yeah.
"Oh, this isn't going to come with the bonus disc because you didn't order the first 1,000."
Right.
You know, this is the release.
Yeah.
And the first person in line and the last person in line are going to get it. And
Yeah.
that's for the masses. And that's why I really believe in Criterion is they're really delivering shit for the masses.
Yeah.
And at a high bar, high quality.
Yeah.
And their restorations are unmatched.
Yeah.
They're so
They're
good.
fantastic.
Right.
But they're generally more towards the art house crowd, and so like most of their releases are global world cinema, which is cool.
Yeah.
But I only buy one out of every 20 of
Sure.
those.
Right.
You know? But with Arrow, I'm more interested in their releases. With Shout Factory, I'm more interested in releases. The older I get, the more I get into horror and stuff. And so, like, I want them to be almost as consistent as Criterion. Obviously, like, setting a high watermark or bar or whatever you want to call it. But I would like you guys to just have more consistency or better communication, like you said.
Yeah, I
Be
mean,
like, this is the 1,000 batch.
Yes.
This is the 10,000 batch.
Yeah.
And this is the perpetuity batch.
I mean, I can't imagine being in a small like distribution label like Arrow,
it's
but
probably
I'm sure,
frustrating. Yeah,
and I agree with you. Like that would be
Especially being
super
overseas
frustrating.
and here too.
They
and,
do
like,
so
dealing
many
with
cool
global.
things. Like they'll do a commentary with this podcast called Hysteria Lives on a lot of their stuff. Shout out to Hysteria Lives, great show, and it's so cool that they do commentaries like that. You know, they do new artwork. They do so many cool things. Yeah, but yeah, I mean, communication in regards to what you're actually getting is a huge deal.
the reason why I think this will
And it's
eventually
just a fucking press release.
exactly
It's not hard.
exactly.
No, it's
They
true.
drop them all the time. Arrow drops them all the time when they fuck up a
But
disc.
Yeah.
here's the deal. Here's
know?
the deal. Eventually, they will wake up and see it because here's the thing. I remember back when DVDs first started coming out, and remember when they started going like, "Hey, there's special features in there," and you turn on the cover and it goes, "Special features, surround
16
sound,
by 9.
yeah, surround sound, subtitles." I'm like, scene selection. I'm like, wow, awesome, thanks. I hate it. Like, what the fuck? So yeah, I think they're gonna eventually figure out.
Who will eventually figure it out?
That's the question.
Okay,
Who?
so here.
I think at the end of the day, we need to get back to family values.
Well, you know what? This is a whole other show.
It is. It's a spinoff.
They're never gonna. Those big studios are never gonna figure it out. Never. They're never going to figure it out.
Uh-oh. Hang on. Hold up.
Show's over.
Show's over. Yeah, they heard you. They go, what did you
They
say?
cut the
Fitz?"
power. They cut the power.
You know we run the
You
electricity
know what?
company.
I need to be careful.
Yeah.
Hey, Universal.
Yeah.
I love you guys.
Thanks for everything.
We'll release this as a standalone, but it'll also have to be heavily policed by both of us.
Yeah, we will.
By
That's
all of us.
okay.
Let
It's
me
up-
plug
should
that
we-
in and
Have we? Maybe we should stop.
Yeah, we cut it. But
Yeah.
I will say this. And this not for recording, just in general. I do think they're gonna figure it out, but maybe not the big.
Oh, dude.
I do.
I wish you were right, but here's why they won't figure it out. Because they don't give a fuck.
yeah, they don't
Like
give a
they don't
flying
care.
fuck.
Like they don't have people like us. They don't have a room
But
where they invite
eventually-
nerds like us.
eventually it's gonna hurt
Who's
their-
gonna do it?
It has to hurt their pocketbook first, and it will
It
hurt
won't.
them. Yes, it will.
Dude,
It always
they
comes
look at
around.
them. They just shut down Batgirl or whatever, just to make a point.
I know
Like
another rich dude who doesn't like women in media. All that is.
True.
dude.
Yeah.
But-
But here's my real
Devil's
point.
advocate, though.
Okay,
What
but-
if that movie is dog shit? What
Okay,
if it's
but
the
let me-
worst
let me-
movie?
Well, yeah, it's dog shit,
could be.
but a whole generation below us might not think that.
True.
But let me throw
True.
something.
True.
It's not that I don't believe that they won't try.
Yeah, but
I think you're right about
they'll
that.
fail at
It's
it,
just
though.
that will they come up with?
That's true. That's
that
true.
will suck. So could you imagine?
We
Could you
need-
imagine Universal or Paramount coming up with a new poster for the fog?
this-
Like,
Oh,
what
I
would that
know.
look like,
I know.
dude? What would that look like?
Because the ones that
Like, would they hot glue a ball of cotton to the front of the fucking
Probably.
Blu-ray?
Dude,
You know?
I've seen stuff like that. And it's bad. And I wouldn't. This is probably a bad comparison, but I always go to these guys as like an example of what you can do successfully. And this is a record company too, which music's really hard to make money off of now. But I wish there was a company like a distributor, a film studio, whatever, that was just like Nuclear Blast Records.
Oh,
because
here's-
those guys are making money
Yeah.
supporting mostly independent
Yeah,
artists.
fuck yeah.
And you're like, how do they do it? They just know how to do it. And I don't know what it is, but they just know, they have a formula and it works.
And I don't know that the big studios know how to do it.
No, what I'm
Because-
saying, I wish a brain, whoever runs Nuclear Blast, I wish they were in the film business because they would understand how to apply their formula to filmmaking or filmmakers and artists and fans of film, especially horror. Because we always talk about this, like rock and metal and like wrestling, they coincide with like horror
Well, it's
for
all
some
physical
reason.
media buyers, too.
Right, exactly. You add in that crowd and add in the Comic-Con crowd, the Marvel people, there's something there. There's something there, and they know it. They just, right now, they're only banking on Marvel toys and crap like that. Whatever. They want to do that, that's fine. But, when we go to these horror cons and we see these Freddy Kruegers, like toys and shit like that, in boxes that no one wants to open, that's growing, and it's never going to stop growing. So these people need to get with it, or they're going to be left behind eventually.